So I don't think it's possible to look at the human mind, right, and even the human soul without asking the questions of faith. Hello everybody, my name is Adam Cross and I am an associate marriage and family therapist in Southern California, and I'm also a youth minister at a Catholic parish. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about why I'm a Catholic therapist. This is actually a topic that's been coming up a lot for me lately, is why I'm specifically a Catholic therapist. Sometimes people don't like to advertise as that. They think it can limit you, or it kind of is a niche area. But I think being a Catholic therapist and even advertising as a Catholic therapist is important. Being a Catholic therapist really means that as a therapist, my foundation, my understanding of the human person is body, mind, and soul. Right? So I look at the human person as a child of God, as a beloved son or daughter of God. And that changes pretty much how we view life, how we view psychology, how we view our actions, our thoughts, our behaviors. It changes everything. In grad school, we learned about religion and faith almost as kind of like a cultural consideration. So working in therapy with somebody, we might want to consider that they have this cultural background. We might want to consider that they are Christian, right? Or Catholic, or Jewish, or Muslim. But that's all it really was. And for me in grad school, I looked at that and I said, this isn't a complete picture. My Catholicism, my Catholic faith isn't just an attribute of my life, but it is a complete worldview, right? It's a complete change in perspective, right? It's not just a part of my life, it is my life. It's how I view my life, myself, right? Love, expectations, truth, everything is shaped by my faith. So if we try to minimize that to just, my faith is something I do Sundays, right, for Mass, right? I go to Mass for an hour a week on a Sunday. Like if that's what we try to make our faith, or some prayer time, some adoration in the middle, like that's not the entirety of our Catholic faith, right? The Catholic faith tells us, right, who we are because of who He is. Because of who God is, we can understand who we are. And so you can see how, psychology and therapy being a process to better understand yourself, to have a better relationship with yourself, also requires us to know what we're made for and also who we're made for, right? Like we are this beautiful creation, this complex universe that is designed, right, so that we might live, that we might be here. This Catholic view of life gives us perspective into asking these tough questions of, why am I here? Right? What is the purpose of life? The answer is not 42. And what is the best way to live? Right? What is the healthiest? What is the holiest? Like, what is the best, the goodest, the greatest way to live, right? And our Catholic faith influences that tremendously. So I don't think it's possible to look at the human mind, right, and even the human soul without asking the questions of faith. Right? So as a therapist, when we're asking, how can I have a better relationship with myself? How can I take what's unconscious, right, what's underneath the surface, right? How can I bring that up to the conscious, to lay it out on the table, to look at it, to dissect it, to understand it? Right? How can we do that without asking these big questions of, why am I here at all, right? What is my purpose? And what does a healthy relationship look like? And according to who? Right? If we can't appeal to God. So the Catholic approach to therapy really is a holistic approach. It's recognizing that we are not just our bodies, not just our minds, but we are body, mind, and soul. That we are made for eternity, and what we do here does impact what happens in the next life. Our actions have consequences, right? Our thoughts that lead to emotions, that lead to actions, that lead to habits, right? That affect other people, they matter. And it's worth looking at. A part of my practice is wanting to bring faith into the room. And I leave a lot of that up to the client because in therapy, it's really the client's therapy process. It's not about me, right? It's about them. And so when we get to bring the faith into the room, right, when they kind of open that door, it changes everything. Having an understanding that, praying, going to adoration, praying the rosary, even hanging out with church groups or youth groups, like that's not just a coping skill. Religion is not just opium for the masses. It's not something that'll just like pacify us for right now, right? Our Catholic faith is more than a coping skill. It's a lens, it's a worldview of ourselves and others. So having that foundation of the Catholic faith in therapy changes everything. You don't have to worry about going to therapy and thinking your therapist is going to think you're weird for, praying with your eyes closed and your hands out. You don't have to go to therapy needing to explain what the rosary is, right? Or what adoration is. Right? There's a lot of goodness in being able to connect with somebody who shares your faith, shares your values, and has that foundation in being able to look at you objectively as a child of God. So that's what I like being a Catholic therapist, because I can walk with others. I'm able to be an instrument of God's will, to walk with others towards Christ as I walk towards Christ myself. That's what I like being a Catholic therapist, because it's so fundamental to who I am and to who I think we are as human beings, right? Faith is essential. We're made for God, like deeply, deeply made for God, and we long for God. We try to take that out of therapy, out of a healing process, right? It's hard. It's really hard, right? We need God in the process of healing. That's a little bit about why I am a Catholic therapist. If you have any questions at all about a Catholic approach or what approaches I use, I'll hopefully make more videos about that, but feel free to comment below, to like, to subscribe, to give this a share. Feel free to shoot me an email or check out my website to make an appointment. But thank you for watching, and God bless.